Hey, and welcome to Board with Life News for July 19th. Today I'm going to talk about the Spiel des Jahres winners, Fast Forward, Kashgar, Unpub 8, and the Kickstarter for Founders of Gloomhaven. Let's get to it. Hey, I'm Chris. Welcome to Board with Life News. I'm still getting my studio set up. I'm still working through a bunch of stuff. Part of the reason it's taking me longer than I expected is I want to expand out to more content than just the news, so I'm trying to set everything up. The garbage man or somebody's outside making a lot of noise, very professional. I'm trying to set everything up so that I can do a lot of different sort of content, and with that I'm having to set up the studio in ways to be configured in different ways, basically. So you'll be seeing some of that content hopefully coming out in the coming weeks, so definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, if you're interested in more stuff. Sorry it's taking so long. I know it's been sketchy, and hopefully all the audio and stuff's okay with this. I'm trying out new setups, so it's kind of an experiment work in progress. Up in the very near future, next couple weeks, I'm going to be doing a video of my most anticipated games coming out at Gen Con, so definitely check that out if you are interested in stuff coming out at Gen Con, or just kind of what the new hot games are going to be if you have the same sort of taste as me. So yeah. Also, man, that truck is loud. I'm not going to redo this because I don't care. Donald and I also are going to be starting a podcast in the very near future where we talk about games and game design and theory and that sort of stuff. So it'll be a lot like a lot of other gaming podcasts, but we have a kind of little bit of a unique spin on it, I think. So if you like listening to me talk at people, then that's perfect for you. Okay, on to the news. The Spiel des Jahres winners were announced, and King Domino won the Spiel, and Exit won the Kennerspiel. I love King Domino. It was on my top 10 games of last year's list. I don't remember where. I think it's probably like 3 or 4. It's pretty high. I think it's a great game. I think it's really light for the Spiel, and I know that the Spiel is supposed to be like a family game, but like it's not. It's the length of the game. It's everything about the game. I just feel like it's such a weird thing, and that category, especially with the introduction of the Kennerspiel a couple years back, has pushed lighter and lighter, which is fine. I mean, it's great for me because I make light Euro games, so I'll get one someday. But like, I don't know, it just feels weird for it. That being said, I think that game is great. I love that game. I play it a lot because it's so quick, so easy to teach. So congratulations to it. It's just, I don't know, the category, it's not anything about the game, it's just the category in general. I don't like how light it's gone. Anyways. And as for the Kennerspiel, Exit won. I actually didn't play Exit. I can't get excited about it at all. I don't know what it is. Nothing about that game seems appealing to me. And nothing against the game. It's just that sort of thing in general. Escape rooms. I wasn't a huge fan of time stories, just that stuff isn't for me, which is fine. So I actually didn't play it, even though I should have played it. But I am happy to see that a game that is kind of not the traditional, just straightforward Euro, a game that's a little bit weird, that it's a one-time playthrough thing, I'm glad to see that it won, just so we can kind of broaden kind of our categories, even though my personal favorite games are the kind of like mid-weight Euros that the Kenner usually rewards. I'm happy to see the industry in general, kind of, especially in Europe, which is kind of where obviously Euro games are the staple, expanding out kind of into other types of games, other ideas and stuff like that. So that's exciting. So yeah, overall, kind of a weird year for the Spiels, but yeah, anyways. Stronghold and 2F Games announced Fast Forward, which is a series by Friedman Fries. This all uses the Fabled game system that he introduced in Fabled Fruit. I really like that Friedman Fries uses the Fs on all the stuff, but boy does it make it hard to not misspeak when talking about it when there's like 8 of them in a row. So Fabled Fruit that came out last year to some pretty well regard was now, I guess, retroactively going to be the first game in the series. I think that he's announced 3 more. I couldn't find it though. I think I heard Tom Vassell say it on the Dice Tower News, but then in the written news I couldn't find it. But anyways, up next is Fortress, which is using the same type of Fabled system where you've got stacks of cards and you move through them in a specific order, and as you move through them it introduces new rules and different mechanics to the game. So it sort of teaches you as you go. So much so, In fact, you don't need a rule book for Fortress. It's just written on the first card. You do what the first card says, and then as you go, it's slowly adding in more rules, which is really smart, really cool. I played Fabled Fruit a little bit. I never finished it, but I thought it was really interesting, so I'm interested to see where he goes with this. Fortress, you're going to be able to play through, I think a full session through is 12 games at about 15 minutes each. But then unlike a lot of legacy games and games like that, you can reset it and just do it again. Obviously, you'll know all the rules, but it's kind of like knowing the rules to an expansion in a game. It doesn't ruin the game. So yeah, it's clever, interesting. I'm excited to try it out. Grail Games announced that they'll be bringing Kashgar Merchants of the Spice Road over to the US. This originally came out from Cosmos in Germany in 2013 to Pretty Well Regard. I think I've used the term Pretty Well Regard twice. I don't even know if that's a term. Anyways. But it had a lot of German text on the cards, and we never got an English language version of it. So it's just kind of been one of those games. Grail Games, what they're doing is bringing these well-regarded Euro games over and to an American audience. So in the game, it is interesting. It's an open deck building game where you have 3 decks of cards in front of you with the top cards face up, and you can pick one of the 3 to perform that action, and then that card goes back to the bottom of your deck. So you can add in new cards in the deck and stuff like that. So it's a really interesting take on the deck building game. I had never heard of Kashgar until this news came over, and that seems like a really good way of using deck building, and it's 4 years old now, so I'm kind of surprised that other games haven't picked that up, at least not to my knowledge. But as soon as I heard that, I was like, my game design gears started turning, because that's a really cool idea. So yeah, interested. I think it'll come out in 2018. I think Grail Games kickstarts everything, so I imagine it'll be on Kickstarter. So yeah, look forward to that if you are interested in that. We got a bunch of news on Unpub 8. For those of you that don't know, Unpub is both a convention and also kind of mini conventions and a group of people, I guess. Basically, it's a thing for designers to test and play test unpublished games with the general public. If you watch this channel at all, you know that I absolutely love Unpub. It's one of my favorite conventions of the year. I love what they do. It's been very helpful to me as a game designer, and I highly recommend you looking into it if you're interested in game design or just interested in games in general. It's cool. But a bunch of information. So tickets for Unpub 8 are going to go on sale August 8th at 8 p.m., which is 888, so you can remember that pretty easily. And that's for designer tables, and I think VIP tables at the same time, but I'm not sure, or not VIP tables, VIP tickets. So the way Unpub works is it's totally free to the public if you just want to come and play games. If you are a game designer, you can pay for space on a table where you can show people games. So really cool there. It's moved locations. It's still in the greater Baltimore area, but it's not at the center of Baltimore. They did this so that the hotel that the convention takes place at, you can actually stay at, so now you can, it's a lot easier. You don't have to travel around Baltimore, that kind of stuff, which is cool. I'm excited about it because some of my favorite times at conventions are like the late nights after everything's shut down and everybody's just kind of hanging out, so there'll be more of that. They've extended it, so now it sort of starts Thursday evening for designers, where there's like a meet and greet and that kind of thing, where normally it started Friday morning. And there's panels and all that sort of stuff on Friday. And they've also extended or shifted the playtest times. So now they start Friday afternoon and end Sunday afternoon. It used to be all day Saturday, all day Sunday, but the second half of Sunday, there were a lot of people that weren't there or had to catch flights or whatever. So they've kind of shifted everything over. I think that's a really good idea. Matt Leacock is going to be their guest of honor. He's going to do panels. He's going to be there playing games. He's the creator of Pandemic, Pandemic Legacy, a bunch of really successful games. So anyways, that's a whole bunch of news on Unpub 8. I think you should go. They do great work, and I'll certainly be there. So yeah. This week's Kickstarter is for Founders of Gloomhaven. This is by Isaac Childress, the guy who designed and published Gloomhaven, the smash hit that is, last I saw, I think it was 7th on the BGG rankings. Obviously a very well-liked game. And Founders of Gloomhaven is not an expansion, it is a standalone Euro game set in the same world of Gloomhaven. So he's, piggybacking off of that, which is cool. It is a 1 to 4 player city building game, and it says it combines mechanics, tile placement, action selection, hand management, worker placement, and blind bidding. So every Euro mechanic is in this game. It seems to be pretty heavy. It takes about 2 hours. Isaac's a great designer. I'm definitely interested to see what it is. It sounds pretty appealing. But it is $49 right now on Kickstarter, so if that sounds interesting to you, go back that. All right, that's the news for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you follow me on social media. I'm at Chris Bryan Games on Instagram and Twitter. Also, go check out my Patreon, because my lovely patrons are why I can do this. And sorry to my patrons that I've been sketchy over the last couple of weeks. I promise that not only am I going to get back to the weekly news every week, but also more content and some other things that we're setting up. So thanks for hanging in there with me. I very much appreciate it. I'm going to skip out on the question this week because I imagine this episode's long anyway, just like the last time, which happens when I skip weeks. But yeah, so tune in next week, and I will see you next week.